Welcome to Take Jotters again. Today, let's create a simple but effective development environment with Windows 11 and WSL for Python and JavaScript development. First, we'll install WSL, which is Windows Subsystem for Linux, and it will help us to isolate our environment from our operating system, and it will also give us the power to use the powerful tools from Linux. WSL is the best way to get the best from both Windows and Linux world. We'll install Python environment inside the WSL. For that, we'll use Miniconda, which will give us a simple way to create and manage different Python environment for our different projects without interfering each other. After that, we'll configure our system for JavaScript development. And for that, we'll install Node.js, but here I want to use NVM, which is Node Version Manager. It will give us the ability to install different versions of Node based on our requirements. Finally, we'll install Visual Studio Code like VS Code as our IDE and connect it to the system we created for Python and JavaScript development. So let's get started. Let's start with WSL. To install WSL, we need to open PowerShell. And we need to open it as an administrator, so run it as administrator, and here it is. So to check which distributions are available for WSL, the command is WSL --list and --online. Okay, if you enter, you will see the distribution list here. Okay, from here I want to install Ubuntu 24.04, and by default you can see the star. That means it is the default Ubuntu version will install if I don't put any distribution name, but this is actually right now Ubuntu 22.04, but I want to install Ubuntu 24.04, and to do that we need to put the command WSL --install and -d for the distribution name, and we need to put the Ubuntu distribution name. So here I will just copy it and paste it here. So let's enter and it will start installing. So this is the best way to install WSL because it will take care of everything. You don't need to open any features, you don't need to close any features. It will do everything for you. So I find this is the best way. So let's wait until it's installing Ubuntu 24.04. Okay, so it is now ready for WSL, but to complete this, we need to restart our system because you can see the requested operation is successful. Changes will not be effective until the system is rebooted. So we need to reboot our system, and I will be back when the system is rebooted. I just restarted my computer and here it is. Ubuntu 24.04 LTS is already installed and it's launched, so I need to put my username and of course my password, and that's it. Installation is successful. So if I click here, it's opening a terminal. Okay, let's close it. I will show you the process to open it in a terminal. So if I search for terminal, you can open the terminal, which is default come to the Windows 11. I am not sure with Windows 10, but in Windows 10 if it's not coming with it, you can install it from the Microsoft App Store. Okay, so here if you click on the button arrow here, you can see Ubuntu 24.04 is here. So if you click here, it's started, and you can also start it from Windows PowerShell. Just put the command WSL. You can start with this and it'll open in this directory, but if you want to go to the home directory, just put WSL and this sign and it'll take you to the Ubuntu 24.04 home directory. Okay, but I like to use this one. Okay, that's fine. So our WSL is installed and working perfectly. So let's now install Miniconda. To install Miniconda, we need to copy this link. So I'm installing Python 3.10 for Miniconda. This is the default one. So we need to use wget to download the Miniconda file, and it's downloaded. So let's check it. Yes, it's there. So the command is bash // and the name of the file. So this is the file name. and we need to accept the license, and I want to install it in a default location. That's fine. I want conda in it. Okay, so our Miniconda is installed, so let's check this. Yes, this is fine. So you can see the base, that means our Miniconda is installed perfectly. Now let's create a directory for our projects. So the command is mkdir projects, and here in this directory I will put everything. So let's go inside this projects. So this is the main projects directory. I will put all of my projects inside this. So my new project for this Python should I will make it Py project. Okay, so this is my, okay, sorry, I need to make the directory. Okay, so let's go inside this. That's fine. The next thing is we need to install VS Code. So it's already downloaded in my system. So here it is. VS Code is downloaded, the latest one. So let's install it. Here I need to accept the license and install it in the default directory, and everything is default. Let's install it. Great. So let's close it. So let's write code dot. So this command will open in this directory, and VS Code is installed in Windows 11, but I'm trying to run it from WSL. It should work perfectly, and you can see it's actually downloading the server things and everything. So WSL is already connected. That's great. The next thing I want to do is to create a environment for our system, and I will do this. I can do this from my terminal, the Ubuntu terminal, but I want to use the VS Code terminal. So let's do it. Click on the view and this terminal, and you can see it is showing the base. That means it is actually connected with the WSL. Okay, so from here I will create a Conda environment, and the name will be Py project, and I want to use Python 3.10. So let's install it, configure it, sorry. So okay, so our environment is created. So let's activate Conda environment, and now let's install Jupyterlab. So let's install it. I'm installing it with pip. Great. So Jupyterlab is installed. So let's open Jupyterlab. Try this actually. And if I click here, you can see that Jupyterlab is opened, and it is inside this directory. So everything is working fine. Let's close it. Now our Jupyterlab is installed. So let's create a kernel entry, so that we can actually recognize which kernel I want to use. Okay, so to install that I need to install Ipykernel, and I will install Ipykernel with Conda. So the command is conda install and Ipykernel. Okay, so Ipykernel is installing, and it's done. So now let's create the entry for our project, and here is the name of the project, like the environment Py project, and here I want to put this name. Okay, so let's do this, and it's installed. Now let's open Jupyterlab again. Let's click open in browser, and it's opened in the browser, and you can see the Python Py project kernel is available for us now. That's great. So this is our environment. We want to use this kernel. So let's open it, and let's just run a small Python program. Okay, so let's run it, and it's working perfectly. So let's save this as a test.ipynb. So it's there. Now let's go there, and you can see the ipynb is available here. I created it with Jupyterlab, but it's available here. So let's double click it, and you can see it's there. Okay, so here, if you have any problem, just click the extension and install the Jupyter Lab support, Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so that's fine. So we need to find out our kernel. Let's go to this one and let's install it in WSL. Okay, so it's installed. Now let's check the Python kernel, and here you can see if you click on the Python Py project kernel, and you can see the Python Py project is available here. So let's select it and let's run it again, and it should work perfectly. So the next thing is, let's close the Jupyterlab here and run this to check if it's working. It's fine, it's working. So my environment is also activate here. It's active. So I want to install, let's first check it. Import numpy as np. So let's run it. And you can see numpy is not available. So I'm in the terminal, and this is the VS Code terminal. From here, if I install the numpy, pip install numpy. So let's install numpy. So numpy is installed. Now let's run it and check. Yes, now it is working. So basically, our VS Code installed in Windows 11 is working with WSL. That's perfect. So let's create a new file here. So it should be test.py. Okay. So here, Python language extension, let's install it. It will help us, to configure Python and run the Python files. So let's install it here. So it is not actually installing Python. It is the Python extension pack for VS Code. Now, if I run print, you can see that these things, these auto completion things are coming. So welcome to WSL. Let's run it like this. Okay, and let's save it. You can run it from here. You can click here and you can see welcome to WSL. It's working. And otherwise you can run this with this command python test.py, and if you enter, it's running. So that's the way you can use Python with your VS Code, and Python and environment is installed in WSL. So our Python is installed and configured properly, our Jupyterlab installed, and we can use the Jupyterlab files from our Py project VS Code. So now let's install the NVM. To install NVM, let's search for NVM. And here is the NVM GitHub repository. And if you go there and click install and updating, you will get the install option. So here is the installation option. So let's do this. Let's open the terminal window and just copy this one. This is the latest one. So let's do this. And I think we will get a error. No, it's not. So it's installed with one single command. It's installed. But if you get any error with the curl, just install curl with apt get install curl, then it'll work. Okay. So the next thing is we need to enter this one to our bash RC. So let's copy this first and open the terminal and run nano and then bash RC. Okay, we need to enter some entries here. So let's go to the end of the file, and here let's just paste the commands we copied from the GitHub repository, and Control O to write this file and Control X. That's fine. Now let's source this file. Sorry, it should be source. Okay, so our NVM is installed. So let's check it now. To check this, I will go to the VS Code. I will check it from here. Okay, we need to open a new terminal because it's recently installed. That's the problem. Here you can see if I open the new terminal, it is now showing the NVM. Okay, so let's now install the latest one. So if you go to the NVM, Node.js, and go to the page, you can see the latest one is 20.15.0. So let's check whether it's installed the latest one or not. I'm trying to install the latest LTS version, and you can see it's downloading the 20.15.0. So it is actually using the latest one. Okay, so here creating default alias, we need to use this so that it's a version manager. So if you run this, it'll use this one, this particular LTS version 20.15 as our default one. So you can see the default is Node 20.15.0, and you can install any other version. Like if you go there and install version 18, let's check it. You can see the 18.20.3 is installing. Okay, so let's check which versions are installed in our system. So the command will be nvm ls, and you can see there is these versions are installed. 20.15 is installed. These two are installed, and currently it is using 18.20.3, but I want to use the 20.15.0. Okay, so let's use nvm use 20.15, and if I run this, you can see now it is using Node version 20.15, and if I use nvm ls again, and you can see that arrow is with 20.15 now. So it's working perfectly. Now let's open a JavaScript file here. Okay, so let's create a new file, app.js, and here I will just write a simple code. Okay, and let's save it, our app.js, and I want to run this now. So the command will be node and app.js. It should work perfectly, and it is working. Okay, so we installed everything in WSL, and we are now accessing them with VS Code installed in our Windows 11 system, and it works perfectly. And the best thing is we don't need to change anything. We don't need to install anything in our Windows system except the IDE. So that's a great thing. Your Windows is intact, and you are doing everything in the WSL. And there is another good thing. If you open the PowerShell, say if you have any problem with your WSL, or you misconfigured it, it's not working perfectly, you want to uninstall it, the command is very simple: WSL --- unregister, and you need to put the name of the distro. So in my case, it's Ubuntu 24.04, and you can see it's unregistering. And if you just want to install it again, you don't need to do anything. Just write this command here, install -d for distribution name, and it will install again. So we need to put our username and our password, and it's installed. So it's here. It's running here, and if you go there and click on Ubuntu 24.04, it's running perfectly. And you can see there is no base. That means the Miniconda is not installed because I already unregistered everything, so everything is deleted. Now you can start from the beginning if you want to, if you need to. Okay, and of course our VS Code will not work because it says reconnecting, because the system is not available, right? So in that case, you need to close everything and you need to reconfigure it. That's the simplest way. Okay, let's close it from here because this directory is not available also. So that's all for today. Today, in this video, I showed you the process to install everything on WSL and keep intact your Windows 11. Just install the ID on your Windows, and you can access all the necessary tools from WSL through VS Code and Terminal. So that's all for today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It will be a great help for me to grow this channel. Have a good day.